Okay, everybody, we're about 5 minutes live. We're getting ready to get started out here. For those of you who don't know, for those of you who aren't regular viewers of the show, we might have a few in the audience. What this is we're starting a webcast network, which is like a conventional television channel, but it's all internet, and it's Texas-based, so it's definitely going to represent our home state. There's a few operations like ours in existence around the country. There's fairly large networks in California and at least one or two in New York. So we're going to represent the Midwest Central Time Zone with the Lone Star. You Can't Brew That on Television is one of it's our flagship show. It's the one we started off with, and it's the most developed, and it's got the best content and the biggest crowd. Props to Half-Ass Sportscast, close second. But tonight we're going to do probably a 45-minute broadcast. It's going to last until it's done. You'll see a lot of the bells and whistles of television, but also a lot of freedom that only the internet gives us. So we can do whatever the heck we want. FCC doesn't apply. Have fun with it. Drink some beers with us. We're going to be trying Fireman's number 4 is our tasting tonight. So everybody go ahead and order one. Tip your waitresses. They're helping us out a lot by being here tonight and letting us set up in the Flying Saucer here in downtown Fort Worth. It's a great setup for us, and we're really jazzed. So without further ado, we'll get the show underway. All right. Woo. And, yeah, by the way, guys, lots of audience interaction. This is we're all about talking to the audience. This isn't a presentation. This is us talking with the audience and the community. So feel free to cheer and talk and smart off and all that good stuff. Thank you.
Yes, that's my plan.
All right, live from the Flying Saucer in downtown Fort Worth, it's time for You Can't Brew That on Television. Now here are your hosts, Brewmeisters Kyle and the Reverend Ryan Bono.
Good evening, Internet, and good evening to the Flying Saucer. That was an awesome welcome. Thank you so much. I was really hoping that would go well. We are coming to you live here at the Flying Saucer for You Can't Brew That on Television. We are your hosts. I am the Reverend Ryan Bono.
And I am Kyle, the Chronicles of Narnia, the Dawn Treader LaPointe.
That gets longer with every episode.
It's whatever movie I saw last, man.
Awesome. And we are coming to you live from the Flying Saucer to help you bridge the gap between frat boy and beer snob. Everyone, we have a really exciting show for you tonight. We hope it's going to be a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun planning it.
Yeah, we're going to do a few things we don't normally do, but we're going to do the basic premise that we always do, which is to bridge the gap.
And we do want to take a second and talk about that because there are going to be people watching the show for the first time. What do we mean when we say that we're bridging the gap between beer snob and frat boy?
Well, what we've done throughout our lives is we've gotten interested in good beers, but we always started drinking, whatever beers we started to drink.
It was a Bud Light for me.
And it was Miller Lite for me.
Awesome.
And, there's some part of you that never loses touch with that, and we hope. There are some people that do lose touch with that and get into the beer snob world, just like there's those who never grow out of the frat boy world, and they stick with their Bud Lights.
And whether you're a beer snob or a frat boy, there is a tendency to get wrapped up in your own beer and to look down on the other. And that's kind of the divide that we aim to shoot down.
Yeah, and whether you're a Blue Moon person and that's all you drink is a Blue Moon, kind of a middle ground beer. We're trying to expand people's horizons, show them there's more beer out there, talk about what we like about beer, and maybe have a good time while we're doing it.
So without any further ado, let's talk about what's on tap for tonight. We're going to start, like we start every show, with a tasting. We're going to have Curtis from the Flying Saucer up here in just a minute to help us out with that.
Yep, we're doing the Fireman's 4.
Yeah.
Which is...
nice beer from the Real Ale. Why don't you come on up here,
down
Curtis?
in Austin. Which some of our Cap and Hair Brew Club just got done with an Austin trip, which sounded like a lot of fun.
Come up here and sit between us, Curtis. Okay. Jump right in, man. Everyone, this is Curtis from the Flying Saucer. He was kind enough to help make all of this happen. We owe so much to Flying Saucer tonight, and so please thank him if you see him in the hallways. Curtis, tell us a little bit about the Real Ale Fireman number 4.
Well, it's a true blonde ale. It's 5.1% alcohol, about 21 IBUs.
Okay.
It's refreshing. Had just a hint of fruit to it. It's perfect for something if you're, having a spicy barbecue or just a hamburger. It's a perfect summertime beer.
It really is a fantastic summertime beer, which is why we selected it for tonight. Now, you mentioned that there's a touch of fruit in the flavor. Where does that come? Are they actually adding fruit, or is that a byproduct?
That's a byproduct of the yeast.
Okay.
So when you're dealing with a Saccharomyces cerevisiae, it's going to give you just a hint of a fruit flavor in most beers.
Okay.
And sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it really jumps out at you. I think this one comes out with a little apple or pear.
Yeah, I've definitely caught the apple. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and then this what I get when I'm tasting it. I get a little bit of apple, but I also get a little grainy sweetness, and it balances out well. There is some hop character to it. You get that, like you said, 21 IBUs, which is relatively low, and it balances out well at 5.1% alcohol. This is just a good all-around beer.
And I like to call this like a transitional beer. Folks that are trying beers for the first times. Certainly, they're breaking out of the Miller Lite, Bud Light, Coors Light world. This is a perfect beer. It's not going to shock your tongue, and I got to tell you, it's really refreshing.
It really is a fantastic beer, and real. I haven't had a bad real ale. Those guys make some great beer down there. So, yeah, it looks like Curtis has.
There's not a bad beer that comes out of them. We have a pretty close relationship with them. We do Firkins with them all the time. The last one they did was the Real Ale Coffee Porter, and they actually put 5 pounds of coffee beans inside the Firkin.
Nice.
So they're stepping outside of the box, and they're local breweries. We got to support them.
Awesome.
One of the few Texas breweries, amazing with as big of a state and as large of a population as we have, so few breweries.
Well, we're hoping to fix that here soon.
That's
in the
right.
next couple of years. It looks like another 10 or 12 breweries are going to open up here in this next year.
That's wonderful.
Brewing Texas.
That's right. We really support the Texas brews. We love the fact that we can come into a brew or into a beer establishment like this and drink beers from our local fair. It's wonderful. We don't get that chance at too many establishments here. So, cheers to the Flying Saucer. Thank you.
Let's thank Curtis one more time, everyone. This is fantastic. This is a fantastic venue to do this. So thanks again, and we really appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, Curtis.
So once again, hit the bar up. We've got
please do.
We've got Fireman's Number 4 available all night, $3 on the Monday night pints. So that's wonderful.
Now, here in a minute, we're going to need a volunteer from the audience to drink some free beer.
We need 3 volunteers.
We're going to be taking 3 volunteers to drink some free beer.
3 volunteers.
I think I see a hand.
All right.
Or two.
I think the Faz really wants to join into
the Faz looks really excited about this. Let's drag him up here.
And we look like we got a Texas Rangers fan here and an Oklahoma City fan here, so that might work well. Johnny,
everyone, I am an Oklahoma City fan. I have to admit, there's the big thumbs down from the fans.
Well, why don't you guys come on up here?
Come on up here for just a second. We're not going to keep you up too long.
All right.
About that Oklahoma.
Yeah, how about that Oklahoma City?
Yeah, dominating.
All right,
the Tampa Lightning. So,
which one are we going to send off with Jen?
Well, that's a good question. We've got some varying beer knowledge here. Where would you guys consider yourselves on a beer scale? When we say bridging the gap, and you've got all the way pegged at frat boy drinking your one beer out of the keg as cold as you can get it, versus your other end of the spectrum where you're drinking nothing but barley wines every day in the heat of the summer.
I say we send him with Jen.
I like that.
All right, there it is. The Faz to go with Jen.
We actually have 2 more people that unwittingly volunteered.
Okay.
Austin, could you come on up here, please?
All right, Austin.
And Tommy, also, the 3 of you are going to go off with Jen, and you're going to do a beer tasting.
So, okay,
that's going to be off. Don't get up here. Get out of You're ruining the shot.
Honky and Austin will be with us later on the show, but prior to this, Jen is going to take them back there and flog them.
There she is. Are you ready for your flogging? Awesome. You're taking Austin, Tommy, and the Faz.
The really ugly guys in the room.
And them and him.
Well, that's
all right.
There's just too many to pick from. Let me narrow it down.
Well, those 2 are doing that. We have our first game for the evening, and we've got some prizes for these 2. You're going to drink some free beer, and then you're going to get some free beer. Are you really an Oklahoma City fan?
Well, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually the host of the Half-Cast Sportscast, co-host actually of Brian Faulkner, and Yeah, we're all about local sports, so no, not at
Okay.
all. I'm a Mavs fan.
All right, I guess we're just gonna have to. I guess we're just gonna have to have a good old-fashioned chug off then.
Yeah.
Well,
These guys are
Oklahoma.
gonna shotgun some beers
Rich,
for
you mind grabbing
prizes.
those? All right.
Why don't you unveil the beers that these two are going to be shotgunning?
So we've got prizes for the winner here.
Well, prizes
But,
for the winner and for the loser. We do have a consolation prize. Oh, and
Johnny,
these
if
guys
you
are
want to
gonna be
settle up on the
shotgunning
left side
Fosters.
over here.
grab you a stool.
If you want to stand, you want to stand. But the premise of this game is very largely known upon many campuses, college campuses in the world. These are called Fosters. That's Australian for beer. And so we are going to be drinking these 32-ounce Fosters as fast as we possibly can. We do have keys if you choose to cut the back of your beer. Not sure if you want to go that route. But the winner...
And ladies and gentlemen, every beer has its purpose. And we just like to appreciate beer for what it is. And Foster's is a beer that you chug mindlessly.
And the interesting thing here as well is that this is actually going to determine who wins the Mavs-Oklahoma City game.
Yes.
And I didn't know this, but because basketball is rigged, they called us and said, well, if you guys have this thing, just tell us and we'll make sure that team wins.
We've never been wrong predicting a series this way.
That's right. So,
gentlemen, are you ready?
Rich, do you want to count us down?
No, I don't mind.
No, you
All right,
don't
well, I'll
want
count
to
us down. All right, we'll go 3, 2, 1, chug. All right, putting them back. Putting them back.
You're never going to win with those thin little bird lips.
All right.
This guy's rolling.
All right, this half-ass sportscast is chugging down. You know, the best part about this is that we can't tell how much there is in their cans. I'm pretty sure we should put a nipple on this one on the left. Make sure we get it all out. Do we need to warm it to our temperature of our wrists?
It's probably more beer than I've ever drank in my life.
Well, fortunately
We
for
can move
yourself,
on to
it's
another
not real
segment while you
beer.
ladies finish your beers.
All right,
Thomas is moving. He's getting pretty close there.
Thomas, the train is coming into the station. That is a good point.
You're the Mavs fan, dude.
We didn't say which one's away.
He is looking.
I'm just going to nurse this lead.
He's looking a lot like Perkins late in the fourth quarter.
I care about the Mavs enough to let them.
You drink like Peja plays defense, man.
Maybe next time we should use 12-ounce bottles or shot glasses.
There we are. There it was. Better in than out, I always say.
Second win.
Here it goes. I think, folks, we are going to have a winner. There it is.
All right.
As a runner-up prize.
Let's unveil the winner's prize first. The winner gets a big bottle of Arrogant Bastard. This is a delicious...
That's right. Big beer. Because he wins, he gets to be the Arrogant Bastard.
That's right.
And Johnny wins the rest of his Fosters.
And Johnny, you need to learn how to chug, so we bought you something to help you learn how to chug. We got you in a brown paper bag.
Yes.
A 40 of Old English.
And now with 32 ounces in one hand and 40 in the other, have a safe
ready.
drive home.
And
Sorry, I'm going to babysit.
don't open those here.
Yeah.
I know that you can't wait till open your Old English, but you're gonna have to hang on to it for a little bit.
I'll save it for the alley.
Yeah, save it for the alley.
Through those crazy rules with the government and everything, we better not open those here. So
right.
anyway, thank you guys very much.
We really, everyone give our volunteers a hand.
Round of applause for our volunteers. All right.
All right, is the honky done with his tasting yet?
I see the honky
I
standing
see
up.
the honky. Just come on up here and you can finish later if you have to. Tommy the Honky, come on down.
He's trying to... he's moving through the crowd, and apparently his obese, sweat-like features are moving the crowd, parting it like the ocean.
You keep getting the two of us confused.
Please welcome Honky, the iPhone guy, to the stage.
Your wife did tell me that if you started to sweat profusely, we could cover you in beer and make it look like it was an accident.
It's like Ozzy Osbourne, right?
That's right.
Cool.
This is Honky, and we were fortunate enough a few months ago to have him start appearing on our show to review iPhone apps. And we figured out he was so good at what he did that it was kind of a shame to have him just review the 3 or 4 iPhone apps that are out there and then call it good.
And he's not a funny guy, but he plays one on TV.
He really does. And so we, a few weeks ago, we were fortunate enough to have the developer of TexasBrews.org on the show for an interview. And we thought it'd be good for tonight to have Honky, the iPhone guy, the tech guy, go ahead and review that website for you. So, Honky, you managed to get a look at TexasBrews.org. Tell us what you thought about it.
Website looks really good. It's really well laid out. It's easy to navigate. It works really well on the Fruit Company mobile devices, which is a big plus because it doesn't use a whole lot of flash or other random things that don't really work that well. All the videos play in YouTube, so they just pop right up on your phone. I didn't have any problems searching around. I found a lot of great content on there, databases of the brews that you have here in Texas because, let's face it, I'm not Texan. I don't plan on being Texan, but when I do happen to wander into your state from time to time, I would like to know what kind of beers you've got down here. They've started a nice video series here recently where they talk about a lot of the same things that are talked about here on You Can't Brew That on Television with the basis behind brewing beers and why malts are important and why you don't want to dump 5 gallons of hops into your beer. That may be a bad thing unless you're Sam Adams. It's real in depth, and for people like me who know that the difference between beer is a label that wants to possibly get into doing their own beer brewing, it's really nice that you can have that resource there to go with. I think what's probably going to be the best for Texas Brews in the future is to get some kind of community going, and it looks like that's what they're trying to do right now.
And so you're saying it's a pretty good environment for those who aren't into the big words of brewing yet. They want to bridge that gap and get into brewing and look at what's available in the local area. They maybe don't read big words like most people from Oklahoma City.
Tony is from Oklahoma, everyone, please.
Yes, I get that everywhere I go.
Including Oklahoma.
Well, what I usually do is when I get done watching YouTube, I actually go to this site and try to figure out what you guys were talking about because it's kind of over my head. So once they get a community built, I think it's going to be a really good opportunity for a lot of discussion to be going on because I've even heard from some of my friends who are trying to get into the craft brew thing. It's like go to Target and buy a Mr. Brew and then Google everything. And just the idea of that gives me the willies because I don't really Google everything, really?
So I know that one of the things they're trying to do over at TexasBrews.org is create something that you can have at the grocery store with you, and it'll help you pick out some Texas beers. So you had a chance to check out their mobile site. How did that work?
It worked really well. You can pull the things up on your iPhone or your iPad or your Droid or whatever you have handy, unless you're running a BlackBerry, in which case God help you. So if you're stuck in the grocery store or you're stuck at the liquor store and you're on your way to the lake and you're like, I need beer and I don't know what I want, you can pull it up and you can say, okay, I want something that tastes hoppy. Okay, there's an IPA. I can go with that. Or, whatever you want to go down the list. So it's really handy to have it there basically as it's a pocket type of beer encyclopedia, but you don't necessarily have to download an app. And the nice thing about that is that it's updated constantly because these guys seem to be on it. I mean, there's 2 founders, 2 or 3 managing editors, and some contributors, so you never have to worry about the content going stale. So that's really cool.
It's looking good, and I did notice that one of the people involved in the brew school that they're doing on this website and the series of videos is sitting at the back of this room right now. There he is, Brennan, about to open his own home brew shop, which is actually, it's going to be a pretty neat experience for everybody, even if you don't brew your own beer. He's got some really interesting ideas. It's going to be over there on 121 and Haltom, right?
And we'll probably do a couple live remotes from there next season, so be sure to check that out.
It's right next to the Scuba Steve store.
Yeah,
so if you guys have ever seen Scuba Steve there.
right, well,
But don't pee on the side of that building, please.
We appreciate you making the drive down today, Honky.
No problem.
I'll always appreciate your input, and I would also appreciate another beer.
Oh, me too.
So if you would please get us some more beer, we would definitely
Thank you,
appreciate.
sir.
This is the deal I had to sign for my internet fame and fortune, guys. Remember that. Yeah, I'm still waiting on the fortune part.
Yeah,
You guys at half-ass aren't getting paid?
Yeah, don't say half-ass guys about
He
that.
doesn't know. He thinks there's fortune.
So we don't get paid much. I mean, our correspondents only make a few grand a year. It's,
I mean, like the candy bar.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Hundred
the
of
candy
those.
bar. Do you think we should talk about our cool Lone Star television banner for a second?
Yeah,
Or-
let's
or
do
do
it.
we-
I mean, if everybody can see that, if you can't see that, you can watch it or look at it when you walk back out of the room here. But we've had a couple of banners. We have a dogleg banner that we have hanging in our brewery at the house. And
these were brought to us by a company in High Point, North Carolina. They make all kinds of signs and banners and things of that nature, and they really pride themselves on helping their customers. We're talking about the people at Sign Mine.
And, you know, they've got an interesting philosophy. They don't really consider themselves a sales team. You know, they're more of like a coach. And that's something that they've done for us. When we've sent them sign material, they said, okay, well, what do you want? They didn't really say, what product do you want? They said, what output do you want? And we were able to go through an experience with them where we talked to them, discuss back and forth, and they say, well, this is what would best suit your needs.
And they make everything. They make signs. They make vehicle lettering. They make displays for trade shows. I mean, they really do a little bit of everything. They even do embroidery, I believe. That's kind of a neat
vehicle
thing.
wraps.
Yeah, vehicle wraps.
Vehicle wraps are there. You know, and they've got a new thing that they're doing, a direct-to-garment process where they're able to actually put everything straight onto a garment, mouse pads, some other different types of materials where they can put full color, everything that's available. Like, it's not like embroidery where you're limited to the stitch color. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, so please take a second and enjoy this awesome banner they made for us.
SignMineInc.com.
Sign, S-I-G-N, mine, M-I-N-E, Inc.com. So, Honky, why don't you bring us those beers, and we can start sipping on these while we wait for our next interview to walk up here. I saw him running around. Austin, get up here, man. Everyone here is a big fan of the RAR Brewery, I'm sure. The RAR Craft Brewery just south of downtown Fort Worth, owned and operated by Fritz RAR. And one of the things Fritz really aims to do with his brewery is he wants it to be a community gathering place. He wants the community to feel like this is their brewery.
How you doing today, Austin?
Pretty good.
You can introduce yourself to the crowd.
Hi, I'm Austin. I'm a volunteer at RAR and a home brewer.
Yeah, and he's also a member of Cap and Hair.
Hi.
And he's also an alcoholic. But it's okay. He's back on the wagon. So something we always try to do here is a very similar philosophy to what RAR does, and that's to promote everything that's going on in the local community. And, you know, I think RAR has done that really, really well over the years, that they don't just involve what they do and what's going on with the beer community, but they also involve other people around the community. I know they've been recently having an organic farm come in and bring produce on the Wednesday night tours, which is great. I think that's awesome. You know, but let me ask a question to start it out. How long have you been volunteering at RAR?
Well, I first volunteered about 2.5 years ago when the bottling crew was still volunteers.
Bottling crew, okay.
And then I didn't. That was when I was living. Then I moved down here and started going to the tours a little less than 2 years ago and started volunteering as a pourer.
Okay.
On the tours.
And that's how you pronounce it, pourer?
Yeah, pour.
Pourer.
It's a little slurry the more you pour.
I think when there's multiple R's like that, I think you have to roll them.
Yeah.
Well, you know, everything that we use in our brewing process has ometer after it. So we use like a weightometer, a measurometer. So, you know, you can be a pourometer.
There it is.
Pourometer.
I don't see why not.
So, let's see. Do you help in any other ways? I guess I knew you had poured beers. I'd seen you up there, and so I had that written down as my next question.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that we do as volunteers. I've helped work the gift shop a few times when the bottling crew is still bottling, working hard to get that done.
And I guess, how many volunteers are there? I know I've seen some pictures. It looks like every bit of 20 volunteers.
Yeah, overall there's probably like a legion. There's probably about 5 or 6 core people who are there every time, and then probably 10 to 15 other people who show up sometimes, only on Wednesdays, only on Saturdays. It's pretty loose-knit whenever I first started, I was kind of like, all right, do I need to sign a schedule? Do I need to show up? And they're like, no,
You just
show up and pour beer.
There you go. Pretty simple.
Yep.
No, and then I think that's great that getting people in the community involved, and then you're involved in the process. You feel more ownership in a company that's a local company, and you feel more pride when you go to that store and you say, I would like that raw storm cloud right now, and I think that's great. On a whole nother note, but very similar to this, House Bill 602 is just rolling through Congress right now. Yep. And this is a little news. Bono, you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I think we should definitely talk a little bit about House Bill 602. As you all are well aware, the beer laws here in Texas are somewhat antiquated. And there's a couple bills, actually. There's several bills trying to make it through. House Bill 602 looks like it's the one that's actually got some legs. And what that would essentially do is put craft breweries, small breweries, on an equal par with wineries. And because right now you can go to a winery and you can bring home several bottles of wine, and you can't do that with a craft brewery.
And so what this will be, basically they can do a tour where you serve your pints, right?
Yep.
And at the tour, then you can leave by purchasing beer. You can walk out with that beer. Right now you can't. Through the 3-tier distribution system in Texas, you can't do that. So that's awesome.
And
it'll drastically increase the ability to start and own and operate a brewery. And I think the writing's on the wall with what Curtis said, with 12 more breweries opening up here this year in Texas. People realize this law is getting passed, and it's going to be easier to run a brewery and start a brewery, and that's fantastic.
So we do encourage everyone to write their state representatives and tell them how you feel about House Bill 602, because this is really important. This would be huge for the craft beer industry in Texas. In fact, one of the kind of amazing dichotomy. I don't know. I just totally lost what I was talking about.
Dichotomy. It's a big word. He skipped on it.
Dichotomy is huge. Something that's kind of unfair is that right now, and this is one of the other bills, House Bill 660 would allow brew pubs to sell their beer to the public. And one thing that's going on here in Texas, you can buy beer from brew pubs that are in other states, but you can't buy beer from brew pubs that are in Texas.
Nope. Kind of crazy.
So, yeah, so...
all right, so... On a different note, you are also a home brewer, and home brewers are kind of well known for putting different things in their beer. What's something crazy you put in your beer?
We have a Kolsch where we put agave nectar in that.
Really?
And that adds a really nice fruity touch to it.
Oh, cool.
You kind of get through the Kolsch yeast as well, but it really just rounds it out with that
and
agave nectar.
Kolsch being more of a summertime yeast, slight fruitiness to it, that kind of thing. Very similar to the real ale. If you're trying the Fireman's 4 tonight, Kolsch will be very similar style.
Yeah.
And I know you accidentally put in rosemary into one of your beers one time.
Oh, that was an accident. That was good.
That was very interesting. Prominent note. It's crazy.
Yeah.
If you would have put a big rosemary branch coming out of that as a garnish to your drink, it would have been perfect.
Almost an entire bush. It was the entire thing.
That's pretty awesome, man. And so bridging the gap, we talked about it earlier. We all started with a certain beer, and we've all ended up, and we moved through the ranks, where it's like, oh, I went to the liquor store and bought Red Stripe. And everybody's like, oh, Red Stripe, you spent $7 on somebody else's National Budweiser.
Yeah.
So what was your first beer? What was the first beer you ever drank?
Some random keg beer at college.
Keg beer at college.
I asked what kind of beer it was. They said keg beer.
They said light.
Yeah. So it was yellow. Light. It was yellow, and it came out of a keg.
Awesome.
That would probably be Lone Star or Natty or something of the sort.
Yeah, who knows?
And what was the first beer that made you take the plunge into beer nerddom?
Honestly, it's kind of a shame to say it now, but Shiner.
Shiner? No,
actually, hey man, we all start somewhere.
Yeah.
Shiner did a lot for the beer community. It did a lot for Texas beer. Yeah. I really like what Shiner has done.
They do have a lot of beers I do still really like.
Yeah, they've, Shiner has done some seasonals that have been pretty decent.
The Hellas, the Black Lager, almost all those have been some of the best beers I've had.
Yeah, they've been doing good. And, they definitely had, Shiner brought Texas beer on the map, because really prior to Shiner, there weren't a whole lot of breweries in Texas that made it. That were still owned and operated in Texas. Of course, not necessarily entirely there anymore, but, Well, we appreciate you coming on and talking to us, and thanks for doing our beer tasting, which we're going to be talking about here in a few minutes.
Yeah, speaking of which, we've already got you up here, so let's take a look at the results of your beer tasting. Everyone, we had these 3 volunteers each try a few different beers with Jen. It was a blind tasting. We had them try 2 big brewery lagers, and we had them try a couple craft brewery ales, just really light stuff all around. So Jen, why don't you come on up here?
Do you want Austin to go to the right here so Jen can get in the middle and show what's going on?
Do that, and I can get off camera.
All right.
Go ahead and sit in the middle there, Jen.
Okay.
And Jen's going to unveil the mystery beers that.
Okay.
All right. Well, you do look a lot like Vanna.
What you guys tasted?
All right.
Cate, Bud Light, the Scotch True Blonde, and the Mama's Little Yellow Pills.
They did not know what they were tasting. Blind numbered tasting. They had their little plastic cups, and they got to drink and talk about what they liked and what they didn't like on these. So, Jen?
And I have faith in y'all still for some of these rankings. I don't want you to be embarrassed, but
I do.
Let's just start.
I do, actually.
Well, which one first do you think you ranked number 1?
Probably one of these 2.
Tecate. It is not the microbrew known as
Austin's number
Mama's
1
Little Yellow Pill.
was Tecate. Number 2 was the Scotch True Blonde.
Scotch True Blonde.
And he
Fantastic beer.
ranked the Mama's number 3. And I still have some faith in him. Bud Light ranked last with him. So
All right, but Tecate, a surprising choice. But sometimes when you're tasting a beer blind, there's some flavors in there that if you know what beer you're tasting, you may go, "Oh, I don't like that. I'm predisposed to not like this beer."
No, you don't have to chug it. You don't have to chug it. But that is your
My prize.
participation prize. So
To
continue to
bridge the
live the
gap,
high life.
because obviously there is some life left in this guy, some high life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Austin. We appreciate it.
Okay.
And Honky, you come up here.
Okay. Also,
Ladies and gentlemen, it would not be You Can't Brew That on Television without technical difficulties. Well, welcome to the show.
I think you're about to break something as well.
Probably.
Probably.
That's what, the Cuban joke?
No.
The Jimmer Jammer one?
Yeah, sure, tell that
No, I don't think that I want to tell that joke. But Kyle, why don't you come up here and help me soothe this? What are we doing? Can we just go ahead and keep moving?
let's go ahead.
Yeah, let's go ahead and keep moving.
And give the rankings. Do you consider yourself a frat boy or a beer snob? Where are you?
I'm leaning more toward beer snob, but
Oh.
at least.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, which one do you think?
Can we cut that part out and we try it again?
Which one do you think we ranked number 1?
I'll be honest with you. I think it was probably Tecate.
You are incorrect.
Damn.
Actually, you said that the Scotch True Blonde was number 1. Your number 2 was the Mama's. Number 3 was the Tecate, and the last was Bud Light. So I still have faith in you.
Yes.
Even if I don't have any
Everyone
motor
give
control
Honky
anymore.
a hand. He did very
you didn't
well.
have lighting. You couldn't see.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
Blind.
So also continue living the high life.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The champagne of
And
beers.
our last volunteer recognized that he would be living the high life very
Okay.
soon, and he's already made his way up here. P.S. Come on up, buddy, and get ready to live the high life.
Come on up. Now,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Faz, a regular guest on the show. He likes to sit in the audience and drink beer.
well, I've lost a little faith now.
Your problem is that you had
The
faith.
first 2, I was very proud of their rankings. A little concerned on your flavor palettes. You did pick the Scotch True Blonde for number 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Very, very proud of that.
That's a
But
fantastic beer.
Do you want to read your number 2 to everybody?
Oh, really?
Do you want to take?
I mean,
Ladies and gentlemen,
for the record,
Faz-
I'm really proud that number 3 was after it.
For his number 2 beer, the Faz tasted a beer that tastes like number 2. He selected the Bud Light.
Hold on. I want to clarify, though. On mine, I had number 1 off to the side, and then the other 3 over here, because they all suck.
So he's also directionally challenged. Number 3, Tecate. Faz loves him some Mexican lager, and he did not like the Oscar Blues Mama's Little Pilsner.
He ranked that one number 4, but
I actually don't like that. So
that's okay. Continue to live the high life.
Yeah,
the other guys. Thank you.
Enjoy.
All right. All right, guys. I'll leave
So we're going to start wrapping up here in a minute. Jen, you can hang out with us or you can go. It's entirely up to you.
I'll come back in a few minutes.
That'll work.
I'll help you guys with the send-off.
I didn't notice this, but this stool is actually higher because Bono's a little insecure about his height.
I am actually. That's not a joke.
He's 5'6", but he's 6 foot tall in Cuba.
6.5, 5'6.5".
So, all right. Well, let's thank Jen for her help in our segments here.
Jen has been fantastic appearing on the show on a regular basis. She also was huge and instrumental tonight. I can't talk. She was hugely instrumental in making You Can't Brew That at the Saucer happen. So we really appreciate her help. And let's again thank the Flying Saucer. Please be kind to your bartender.
And Jen, like a lot of the Flying Saucers, but a couple notches above the Flying Saucer waitresses, I've just got to say, we elevate her above the rest. She's wonderful with being the kind of person that can help you find the beer you want to drink, whether you knew you wanted to drink that or not.
And for us, that usually translates to her ordering beer for us.
Right.
We just ask her what we're drinking, and she tells us.
And it's pretty amazing when you really enjoy beer and you think you know what you want, and you can come in there and somebody else can actually come up there and say, all right, you want to drink this tonight. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And so,
Jen,
thank you.
Jen, coming back up?
Yes.
What's going on? What do you got?
Well, I just thought since these guys gave everyone a hard time that we should have a real chug-off between Kyle and Bono, bragging rights for next season, Hercules Double IPA Bombers. What do you guys think?
Let's just do it.
Unfortunately, I already did one of these tonight.
I am the wrong.
Oh my God, my lips are on fire.
Come on, teacup.
Oh, a little spillage, Bono. Keep it in the gullet.
If you get any extra hops, just chew it and swallow it.
Does anybody else taste Fruity Pebbles? Oh my God.
Go, Bono. It's your birthday.
Oh my God. No way now.
Okay.
I am a wee little man.
All right.
That has to be the highest concentration of IBUs you've ever consumed in a short period of time.
I did shotgun a Ruination once.
He broke the bottle with his keys.
All right, well, as part of your prize, Bono, we will continue to list you first on the opening credits next season.
Can part of my prize be a taxi cab?
Oh, yeah, seriously. Teddy's driving.
Yeah, Teddy, I hope you're doing all right. Yeah, she's nodding. She's good to go. Thank you,
which
Jen.
tells me that
very
she was
kind.
in on this. Oh
wow.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I can help if you want.
I was often told in college that I was not good at chugging beers, but somebody could set their watch by when I went to the keg for my next beer. I am a steady drinker. That's the way I roll through the night.
Well, go ahead and strap a nipple on that and drink it steadily while we give our regular closing. Ladies and gentlemen, we really, really appreciate you coming out tonight. It's been a blast. We hope you had a good time.
Yes.
We're going to try to do this again next year, and until then, we have...
Hey, tell them when we're coming back. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm trying to do my closing. What?
This is the mid-season finale. It's not over yet. We'll be back in Oktoberfest. What time's the show start back up?
Our show will start back up in early September, right? We're going to roll in first thing in September.
Did you guys dial in Labor Day or?
I think it was Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day is.
So look for us back again live.
So season premiere.
FrontierTelevision.com.
Yeah. So as soon as there is a celebration that of work and people take off of work, we will go back to work.
Yes.
And it would be Labor Day special. I got a drink.
So until then.
Yeah, so until then, until Labor Day, we would like you to keep in mind that we are not professionals.
So please try this at home.
frustration, the memorization of the things I'm gonna do to you.